The Greatest Showman took the world by storm when it released in 2017, and it really isn't a surprise. It has excellent characters, excellent visuals, excellent music, and it's just overall a fun ride. And most of that does have to do with the music. And one of the reasons is the music wasn't only good, it was well thought out, as proven by the other side. Out of all the songs in The Greatest Showman, The Other Side is considered one of the best numbers in the film, and for very good reason. Despite not getting the popularity on the charts that other musical numbers did for the same show, it had found a place in the hearts of fans. Many considered it to be the best. It is a cool song, but when I watched this song for the 20th time, I started to realize there is actually a lot of symbolism going on, and I want to share and show this with everyone, because any excuse to talk about The Greatest Showman is usually a good one. The whole song, for those who have not seen the film, is essentially two guys in a bar. One, Phineas Barnum, who is trying to convince Philip Carlyle to leave his current job and essentially just run off and join the circus, because he will be happier. And that is kind of the gist of it. It's an argument between two people, a kind of a debate argument, which the director, the writers, the crew, the choreographers, and of course the dancers interpreted beautifully, and in which they added a lot of symbolism, which I would like to take the time to point out today. There are four main symbols throughout the song: the drink, the hat, the bar, and the sashes. The drink represents the argument, and whether the person who is listening to the argument agrees with what is being said. Whoever is buying the drinks is also in control of the argument, so drinking essentially means agreeing with the argument and who is in control. The hats represent the status symbols. Throughout the film, hats represent your status or your fall from grace. It shows where you're currently at, and even your redemption. I can really make a whole video on the hats in this film, but suffice to say that in this particular number, the hat represents your status and position in life. The bar is the upper side, or the opposing faction, to Barnum's lower side, or the low-class side essentially. So it's essentially Philip's domain, the bar, whereas the small table is Barnum's domain. Then the sashes finally represent the threat of a closing argument. Essentially, I'm about to walk out. Alright, with those things out of the way, let me show you how smart this film director and the crew were when they made The Other Side. So, the argument begins.
Oh, it could cost you more than that. You'd be risking everything, but on the other hand, well, you just might find yourself a free man.
They are both taking a drink, meaning no matter what Carlyle is saying, he is actually agreeing with what Barnum is telling him. However, at the beginning of this sequence, they are both out of sync, meaning that although he agrees, he is still not entirely convinced.
Right here, right now, I put the offer out. I don't want to chase you down. I know you see it. You run with me, and I can cut you free out of the drudgery and walls you keep in. So trade that typical for something colorful, and if it's crazy, live a little crazy.
This first argument is essentially, you will be happier away from your current life. However, this argument will change as we go further on. He actually buys them each another drink, meaning he still has control over the conversation. And he pours himself a little bit less than for Philip, very possibly showing that he is pushing Carlyle to take the proposition. Something else that you can notice is there are peanuts on the side of Barnum, not on the side of Carlyle. And there's a lot of stuff lying around with the peanuts, which is a symbol of the circus itself. This will actually play a little bit in later, but just take note that it is there on the table.
You can play it sensible, a king of conventional.
And Barnum puts on his hat, the first sign of the status symbol. And he is using the hat to show his own status to Carlyle.
Or you can risk it all and see. Don't you wanna get away from the strain? Oh, part you gotta play, 'cause I got what you need, so come with me and take the ride. It'll take you to the other side.
He deliberately turns Carlyle away from the bar. As I stated before, the bar is the symbol of Carlyle's world, the world of snobs and the world of snobbery. Whereas turning him away means he is trying to push him away from his own world. Also take note, Carlyle drinks, showing that the argument that Barnum made earlier that he will be free, he still agrees with. And once again, he is paying for the drinks, still showing that he is the aggressor and he has control over the conversation.
'Cause you can do like you do, or you can do like me. Stay in the cage, or you finally take the key. Oh, damn, suddenly you're free to fly.
So here Barnum is showing how much his world is much better than Philip. He does a dance, and then he grabs the hat and he pushes it into the camera, showing you, look, this is my status symbol. This is what you will gain once you accept going to my world. The argument here is that my world is amazing and you should be part of it.
Okay, my friend, you wanna cut me in? Well, I hate to tell you, but it just won't happen. So thanks, but no, I think I'm good to go. 'Cause I quite enjoy the life you say I'm trapped in.
What is interesting here is Carlyle does not drink, meaning he does not agree with the argument. He doesn't like the idea that someone is telling him that their world is better, because come on, he's from the rich world. What is also interesting is he is tapping the bar right into the rhythm with the music, showing that he is still, although he is not agreeing, he is still actually listening.
And now I admire you, and that will show you do. You're onto something, really it's something. But I live among the swells and we don't pick up peanut shells. I'll have to leave that up to you.
Note that he is picking up his sash, which is a sign that he is about to shut off the conversation. And there is a spot where he pushes his hat into the camera, showing to you, hey, this is my status symbol. Yours really can't hold up a candle to mine. Look with the disdain that he picks up the peanuts, picking it up off of his side and chucking it on the floor, showing that it is not welcome on the side of the snobs. He removes the sash, showing he is still in the conversation. Whereas Barnum used a chair, he is using a bar stool to get up onto his side, which is a little higher. Look at the area here. It is well lit, it has drinks on the back, it has mirrors, and we all have to admit he looks far more impressive on his side than Barnum did on his own.
So go and do like you do. I'm good to do like me.
And he is a much better dancer. The better dancing actually just proves that he really doesn't need Barnum at all, and he physically dances Barnum's argument off of the table away from his side, effectively shutting him down.
Whiskey, misery, and parties and play.
Barnum shifts the argument away from either the bar or his own world, the table, and moves it instead to the piano, which is a position that sits between both worlds. This is a sign that he is trying to meet Carlyle halfway. He is returning to the original argument, telling him that you will be happier with the circus. You are unhappy in your current state of life.
If I were mixed up with you, I'd be the talk of the town, disgraced and disowned, another one of the clowns. But you would finally.
Despite what Carlyle is saying, he is drinking, which is showing that he is actually agreeing. And what's also interesting is that Barnum does not drink, meaning he does not agree with what Philip just said.
Live a little, finally laugh a little. Just let me give you the freedom to dream, and it'll.
Also, something else to take note of is that Carlyle is putting the shot glass into the peanuts, which is showing that he is kind of accepting the circus on the snob's level.
Wake you up and cure your aching. Take your walls and start them breaking. Now that's a deal that seems worth taking. But I guess I'll leave that up to you.
This final sequence is very interesting. Barnum declines another drink from the barman, and he puts on his sash. This whole sequence shows that both of them are ready to walk out. Whatever the result of this argument, this is going to be the end of it. Barnum has pushed long and hard enough. He has tried to persuade him with a lot of different drinks and arguments, but now it is up to Carlyle to make the final decision.
It's intriguing, but to go would cost me greatly. So what percentage of the show would I be taking?
Well, fair enough. You'd want a piece of all the action. I'd give you 7. We could shake and make it happen.
I wasn't born this morning. 18 would be just fine.
Why not just go ahead and ask for nickels on the dime?
15.
I do 8, 12, maybe 9, 10.
They are both removing the sashes, meaning that the conversation is now still going and quite open. What I like about this is where he removes his hat. You will notice that for the entirety of this part he was wearing his hat, taking great pride in his own status in life. The second he removes it, he is putting himself back on the same level as Barnum, showing that he is not using his status anymore to put one over on him. And at that point, Carlisle just took over the conversation, and he is now in control.
Sir, looks like you have yourself a junior partner.
What I have is an overcompensated apprentice.
And for the first time in this entire song, they are perfectly in sync when they put down the shot glasses. Not once are they out of rhythm, they are perfectly in sync. You can't get more in sync than that. Holy mackerel, I love this choreography. Here is where they actually switch hats, showing that in this place status symbols really don't matter and they are on equal footing now. I think the part where Letty laughs could be a way to show that they accept Carlisle into the family. This is a little on the nose, but he literally walks through a curtain to the other side of the curtain, and this is where he sees Anne, and you will notice something very amazing here. He takes off his hat, and this is the last time you see Carlisle with the hat until the end of the show, where Barnum gives him his own. And that is all the symbolisms and sign in The Other Side of the Greatest Showman. I love this number. I have watched it about 30-40 times by this point now, and I can't get enough of it, as a lot of people do. I just hope that this quick look at one of the greatest numbers in The Greatest Showman piqued your interest into giving this film another shot and trying to look out for some symbolisms that you might pick up. I love this show, I love this movie, I will always love it, and this little number just makes me love it that bit more.